Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, author of Visualizing Happiness in Every Area of Your Life and host of this podcast, Incredible Life Creator. Today I have with me Caroline West. Hey, Caroline.
Hi there. Hi,
It's great.
lovely to be on today.
Yes, I am so excited to interview you and see some of your art. So, I am a fellow artist, not the same way you are. I like to paint on canvases, but we'll get into that. So just so people can know you though, I'm gonna just read a short bio. So Caroline West is an eco-conscious artist who transforms discarded materials into magical works of art. After spending over 18 years in the childcare industry, where she balanced her professional responsibilities with raising a family, Caroline experienced burnout and a sense of disillusionment. This pivotal moment led her to pursue her lifelong passion for art, intertwining it with her commitment to sustainability. And in July 2022, Caroline left her job in childcare to pursue her art career. Caroline loves being outdoors and painting nature scenes. The beach is her happy place, and she loves being barefoot. Shoes are the devil. When she isn't doing her artwork, she loves to travel, read, do yoga, and spend time with her many rescue dogs. She's also a sucker for dark chocolate, aren't we all? All right. Well, I would like to hear about your life and your transformation and what you're doing now. So tell us your story.
Thank you, Kimberley. Well, I think the main event was a couple of years ago. I think one morning it sort of crept up on me slowly, like it does. I think you just have a lifetime of, well, mine personally was just a lifetime of people pleasing, trying to meet everyone's expectations. I mean, especially my own. I think just particularly as a woman, as a wife and a mother, a friend, a daughter, sort of everything. They're all good things, but you just end up being all things to all people and then neglecting yourself. I think you just lose yourself in the whole process. And I was in a job which I loved for a very long time. I worked in childcare and I ended up managing a nursery, which management wasn't my choice necessarily. It just kind of happened like things do. And it just wasn't something that came naturally. I think the innate people pleaser in me just found it really a struggle. And then I just sort of found myself getting more and more, I suppose, just disillusioned. And then one morning I was just crying in the shower, just sobbing in the shower. And I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. I was just so far sort of detached from myself and where I wanted to be that I just lost myself. So at that moment, I was like, do you know what? Unless I actually change something, nothing's going to change. So in that moment, I started seeing a wonderful counsellor. And then from there, I sort of just started rediscovering myself and what brings me joy and passion.
Beautiful. So, being in childcare, do you have children of your own?
I have four. They're all grown up now. The youngest is 20. So, yeah, grown up because I've got grandkids as well now, which is more of the fun and less of the responsibility.
Yes. Yes. Grandchildren are the best,
They
right?
absolutely are.
Yes. Definitely. So, it's funny. So, growing up, when you were saying to yourself, when I grow up, I want to be this, was artist ever in the mix of things you wanted to be?
Absolutely. I've always been creative from a young age, and I used to paint a lot when I was younger. And then I think sort of you end up having what you would class a real career.
Hmm.
And then you sort of move into something that I suppose for me, with having young children of my own, a job in the childcare industry fitted really well with my own children. So you just I ended up moving away from it. But yeah, I've always loved art, loved painting. It's my mindful and happy place.
Hmm. So, raising your kids as they were growing up, did you do art projects with them or crafts? I know my mom always had us doing all sorts of crafts and making Christmas presents for people because I come from a pretty creative family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And when the kids come home with some craft project from school they've got to do, just love doing those.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
to
so we've
see
always
that.
been quite creative as a family. So making Christmas gifts and cards and yeah, hopefully encouraging and nurturing that creative spirit in them all, because I just think it's a real outlet for people. It's a real place just to be mindful and lose yourself, and you're just not thinking about all the other everyday stuff when you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing I was thinking about it, because you are about sustainability and kind of reusing things. I remember one Christmas, we were collecting all the paper towel rolls and all the toilet paper rolls. We were collecting them after they were, the toilet paper was off of them. And we covered them with different kinds of papers and contact papers and things like that. And we decorated them and we gave them to everyone at Christmas as cord holders. These were our cord holders.
Oh, I love that idea. I might have to steal that one.
Yeah, my mom made that one up. And, we had so much fun doing that because we made them all unique and thought about the person we were giving it to and what they would like. And yeah.
I just think, and that's such a lovely lesson for children to learn as well. It's personal, isn't it? And
Mhm.
it's just that thinking about the person you're giving the gift to, like you say, what they love. And it's just, yeah, just a really lovely way of also teaching sustainability and reusing, because we're such a disposable society. And I really do believe in trying to reuse as much as possible.
Yeah. So talk some more about that. Why is sustainability important and define the sustainability? Because I know it's kind of a buzzword in some circles, but in other circles, they have no idea what you're talking about. So talk about what sustainability is and why it's important.
Well, for me personally, it's just about being aware of your imprint on the world, what you're using, how you're using it, just in your day-to-day life. I mean, I can't change the whole world. So for me, it's just about changing your own little corner of it. And I believe if everyone could just change their own little corner, we could make a massive difference. So it's just about thinking about the things you use, how you use them, how you could reuse them. I say we're so disposable in such a throwaway society that I just really like to try and repurpose as much as possible.
Got it. And you do that with your art. So kind of share what kind of art you're doing now.
Well, I'm always sort of looking at things I would usually throw away and how I could reuse them. So I've painted on things like I preserve leaves, so I press leaves. And then paint on those once they're preserved. I reuse tea bags. So after we've used them, I dry them out, scrape out all the tea leaves, and then iron them flat. I think we're probably one of the, well, possibly the only household where my husband asks what I'm doing, and I'm like, I'm ironing tea bags, like you do. And I also upcycle crisp packets. I make them into either art or into jewelry and key rings. And I also paint on pumpkin seeds. I've painted on as well, really tiny paintings. So really anything that I can think of that I would always, like I would say, throw away or would decay.
You just get your paintbrush on and just paint on them and make them beautiful.
Yeah, my husband's scared to stand still in case I paint on him.
That's right. You don't stand still. You get painted. Oh, that is so silly. I'm just curious as an artist. So I like to paint, but I usually paint on canvases. So how do you possibly get a leaf ready to paint on so it doesn't die? I've tried to save, I found these really big maple leaves and I'm like, these are so cool. I'm gonna save them. And I tried pressing them and they just still turn brown. So how do you make it not only stay, but paint on it and it stays looking nice?
Well, I mean, firstly, though, the maple leaves you get in America are amazing. They are huge, aren't they?
Yes.
They're honestly, ours are quite small compared to that, but they're, yeah, I would love some of those. But I'm sure there's probably a really technical and scientific way, but I put them in a large book and slide them under my husband's side of the bed, and he presses them while he's sleeping.
So you
So,
put it in between the mattress?
yes.
Does he know this?
He does now. He didn't for a while, like a princess in the pea type thing. He just thought he had an uncomfortable mattress, but it was a book.
Oh my goodness. So you press it in a book in between the mattress. I had no idea I was opening this can of beans. Can of worms or whatever they say. I had no idea. So if you don't have a husband to press it, you must have to find another way to press the leaves.
You would, yeah. I'm
Oh,
sure
that's
you could
so
put something
funny.
else on top of a book. I mean, ultimately, I will like to buy a nice big press, but just for now, that's what I'm using.
Got it. Okay. So do you put like wax paper around it or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I put them between wax paper, and then once they're dried out, obviously I paint on the one side, so the acrylic tends to seal them really well, and
Uh-huh.
then I'll varnish the other side, and then they're completely sealed.
Okay, and they just stay like that.
And then I frame them, and so far I haven't had anyone tell me they haven't. They've been lasting, so they should last just like any other piece of art.
Wow, and I think you did have one there, so just for the people on YouTube, like, if you're not on if you're watching listening on podcast, you might have to go to YouTube to see this, but just show us your leaf painting.
This is one of them. I've just recently done it because we've had a harvest moon, so I've just recently done a painting of the harvest moon on a preserved ivy leaf.
And it's gorgeous, and it
Thank
and it
you.
it looks like it's gonna stay good. I mean, it's very stiff, and it's
Yes.
just interesting that you can even paint on a leaf.
The more layers you put on, the better. I mean, I usually put a couple of layers of white on first,
Uh-huh.
and then lay the other. So the more layers, the easier it will get, and the sort of stiffer it gets to paint on. So yeah.
Okay, so more paint makes it stiffer.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool. And then show us some other things you have there.
Okay, this is a painting. Again, this is the harvest moon. Obviously, there's a theme here at the moment. On a tea bag. That's on a
Wow, it's just
that's
a
on a
square
unit.
used tea bag.
Just a used tea bag. Yeah, there's the back. So yeah, I've just cut it open, and I've got another one. This is on. I don't know that you have pucker tea out in America, but in the
Uh-huh,
UK, it's all sort of different flavors. So this is on a vanilla and honey tea bag. So I've painted a little bee on it to tie
uh-huh.
in with the theme.
That is so cool.
That's
And
that
so do
one.
people just, like, hang these around their house?
These ones I frame.
You
I
frame
frame
them?
up and then sell them framed, yeah, to hang up. So I recently painted a series of British landmark scenes on British tea bags, and they've sort of been selling quite well. So the British do love their tea, don't they?
Yes, yes. So when you say British landmarks, what things did you paint?
I've painted the London Bridge,
Mhm.
Stonehenge, Big Ben, the Humber Bridge, Land's End, sort of, yeah, just all sort of the iconic British landmarks. And obviously, there's loads to go, so I'm still going through those at the moment.
That is beautiful because that is really something people would cherish. I mean, I think anything from your culture that has
Mm.
meaning for you and that for people in the UK, those things would have a lot of meaning and memories around them.
Yeah, I think it's lovely to have a piece of art that sparks a really cherished memory.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah. So, do you just do this on your own? Do you teach others? Do you have classes or anything that you teach other
I
people?
do. I teach an art class once a month on canvas. I tend to teach though. I haven't ventured into teaching deep bag painting yet, but yes, I teach. I teach an art class once a month, which I really love. I just think it's just about, for me with teaching art, it's about just teaching the process of it's process over product. So it's just about enjoying the process and being mindful and not necessarily worrying how it turns out. Because I mean, as an artist, sometimes things just they don't turn out how you expect. And you can get frustrated, but it's just more about losing yourself in the moment of painting and just enjoying the flow of it.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me because sometimes I'll be planning a painting even in my head for a couple months before I even sit down and put anything on a canvas. And then when I do put it on the canvas, all my imaginations of it doesn't look like that when I
No,
actually paint it. It never looks like that. But what I love about art, because that's one of those things where I get in the flow and I'm like, it's just so relaxing and beautiful, is I think all art is perfect. It is exactly the way it was supposed to be. I don't care if people say, well, I messed up. I'm like, nope, you can't mess up. You cannot mess up art. It is all perfect. In fact, I had an art teacher that she said if you do a painting or you do a piece of art and it's too perfect, she said do something to mess it up. Because she said, you know, she said art should not look like a commercial thing done on a computer. Art should look like an artist created it with the artist's eye, with the artist's flair, with the artist's
With a
feeling
vision.
into that
Yeah,
vision, into the painting. And so, yeah, that's what she said. If it looks too perfect, if it looks like it was mass produced or something, you have to do something to mess it up.
I think that's good advice because life's not perfect. So, I think it's like it's a reflection of life, isn't it? And it's just personal to each artist. I mean, I don't know if you feel the same, but when I paint something, it's like a little part of you. So
Mhm.
every time you sell or give away a painting, it's like you're giving away a little part of you to someone.
Yes, yes, and sometimes it's easy to give away because I've made paintings specifically for people that have meaning. I do these mandalas,
Oh, I love
and they
mandala.
have meaning for that person. So, like for my daughter, she likes white tigers. So in the center of it, the mandala is the white tiger. And then she was always my child, even since young, that she was very much a part of the earth. So she'd go and we're walking, she's touching the tree, she's touching the bench, she was my climber, you know. She's always so ingrained in the earth and her environment and just like seemed like it flowed with a part of it. And so I did a mandala with, you know, earth, fire, you know, and I did those elements for her in this mandala. So I think when you're doing art, if you know, you want to think about who it's for, and sometimes it is just for us, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's for a specific person.
yeah, definitely. It's just the joy. It's just the joy of creating, isn't it? Just
And
love it.
it really is. And creating something that is, you know, special. And even when we're creating something for ourselves, when people put thing at an art show or something, then other people get to come through and it means something different to them, but they're like, oh, I love that piece of art, and they purchase it and they bring it home. And even though the artist might have had one intention for the piece of art and how it made them feel, the person who purchases it might have a totally different feeling about the art, but it still is something special for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a universal language art, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And so you like to paint things that are outside in nature. So are you one of those people that like to take a walk every day? How is it that you get out into nature?
Yeah, I love being. I would rather be outside barefoot, preferably on the grass, or well, I say the beach is my happy place, so preferably paddling on the shoreline. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just love to get outside as much as I can, and I just feel like your daughter, more at peace and more connected in nature. And I think it's often neglected these days because we're just so busy. Life's so busy, and we're always sort of mostly sitting, I suppose, doing things on computers or inside. And it's just really important for me to be able to get outside. And I just want to bring that feeling into my art, that feeling of connectedness and expansiveness, and of just being in nature.
Yeah, yeah, it is so beautiful. And then the other thing I read in your bio is about your rescue dogs. So how many dogs do you have right now?
9.
9.
Yes.
Big dogs, little dogs.
There's a range. We've got one German Shepherd, so he's the big one, and then all the others are quite a lot smaller. But yeah, the big one gets picked on by the little ones. Bless him.
That is so funny. So are they all in the house? Or are they outside? Or
No, they're all in the house. Yeah, they're all in the house with us. So yeah.
and how do you take care of 9 dogs? Do they have their own room?
No, they're just in the house with us. We have, I'm just thinking, 5 sleep in our bedroom. Well, my daughter, I still have my daughter and one of my sons living with us, and they each have a dog. So I suppose technically 7 are ours. Don't know if that sounds better like that.
Well, that is beautiful. And so do you work with the local shelter or how do you come to
My neighbour has a small sort of charity where she rescues dogs, so we got a lot of them from her. But if I had the space, I would have more. The dream is to get someone with a nice plot of land so I can rescue more dogs because yeah, just, I love them.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
you
a
need
there's
a
a lot of
farm
dogs
and a
out there.
barn or something.
Definitely. But yeah, so they bring me a lot of joy. They're also a way of connecting with nature, aren't they? And they're just, I don't know, pure souls.
Yeah, exactly. So, if people wanted to connect with you, find your art, purchase your art, where do they find it, and what services and products do you have right now?
Well, I've got a website with all my art on. It's do you need me to say? Sorry, do you need me to say the website? Yeah, it's www.carollouiseart.com. Bit of a mouthful. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as well, so you can connect with me there.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And I'll have this in the show notes too, so people can find you afterward. They can look down there if they didn't get everything. So that'll be good.
Perfect. And I'm also involved in a book that's launching in October that I've written a chapter for, which is about my journey from burnout to following my dreams to become an artist. And that launches in October, called Beyond the Ordinary. So I'm sure I'll be about a lot with that as well. So
Mhm.
there's a waiting list for the book as well if anyone wants to read it. It's lots of inspiring stories about women, creative and neurodiverse women. So that's definitely something to look out for as well.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful. Actually, I interviewed someone earlier who I think is going to be in that same book, Joe Phillips.
Yes, yeah.
So, yes. So, definitely be looking for that book. And that also should be in our show notes here. So, we'll just make sure that it is. And so now I have a personal question for you.
Of course.
What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life at this point?
Painting. Being creative and expressing myself.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today and for sharing your art and yourself with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate the chance to share my art, and I just hope that it can inspire people. Just to, I think if you've got a dream and a passion, I just hope it inspires you to follow it, because it was a scary step for me to do that, but 100% worth it.
Yeah. Well, I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
What is your best advice on living an incredible, amazing life?
I think it would be to be authentically yourself and listen to your heart and follow your dreams.
That is great advice. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today and for sharing everything. And um, we'll look for that book coming out soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Kimberley. It's been amazing.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.